and it is we cannot say every intention is wrong, because it depends on the people, how the mentality works. As when we study more of the Kadamba practices, we have this is known as Kyusumgir Namrim, as known as the three way of the mentality of people. Some have small capacity, and some have much larger capacity, and some, like the way of the Bodhisattva. So in like that, it depends on individual people how they receive the Ngondro and how they would like to engage. But in the tradition of the Kama Kayu, here, the specific Ngondro is known as Mahamudra Ngondro. Also in Tibetan, we use the term Chakshin Ngondro. Chakshin refers to Mahamudra, and after that we use Ngondro. It is very important that the word Chakshin Ngondro, the Mahamudra preliminary practice. So the Mahamudra is the actual true nature of the mind, also known as the enlightened state of the mind. So we use the term Mahamudra to the state of enlightened mind. So in Kamagayu, the main kind of achieving state would be the Mahamudra. And in order to achieve the state of Mahamudra, you need to approach with the right order, because it is said that an ordinary mind which has many conflictions, many emotions, whether it is related with negative or any sort of very much unstable nature. With that kind of mentality, it is very hard to engage with the Mahamudra teachings, because the Mahamudra teaching is mainly introduction to the true nature of the mind, where the one who receives the Mahamudra teaching needs to have some stable mind without much distraction, and need to have strong kind of uh, motivation. So for that reason, you have to train the mind to the preliminary mind training, wherein we have common practices and uncommon practices too. So the common practice, uh, which is very much known to the Kadamba practices. Kadamba is a lineage was existed in Tibet, was found by Palin Adisha, the great Indian Mahasiddha or scholar Adisha. So, although Adisha was known to be a great tantric meditator and a master, he was purely qualified as a tantric teacher. But when he came to Tibet in order to teach the Buddhism in many different vehicles, when he started to see the people of Tibet, he saw that more than the tantric practice, it seemed for him that the people need more of mind training. So without a basic mind training, no matter how much a person engage to a tantric creation state, completion state, has not much of beneficial without how to say renouncing the worldly life. For that reason, Adisha started to teach more about logical way to a person which they can able to understand the teachings through the logical way, and through that contemplating, and to contemplating, engaging with the meditation, and they receive some kind of changes within self as being more compassionate and more like Mahayana practitioner. So for that reason, more than tantric, the visualization, and more than this. So George Palyanadisha started to teach about the more on mind training with the logical fact based on the teaching of the Buddha. So like this, uh, so we have in Kongtrul as the preliminary practice known as the four mind training, which is actually lineage from Adisha. Because one of the three main founder lineage of Kagyupa are known as Marpa, Mela, Kambupa. Marpa, the great translator, was mainly known for tantric master as well as Melarep. when we look up on the life of Gambopa, before Gambopa met Milarepa, he was a practitioner of Kadamba lineage of Atisha. So from the lineage coming from the Gambopa, we have tantric practice, and along with mind training practice, which is mainly influence of the lineage of Kadamba. So here, during the Mundo, we have the four common preliminary practice, which is actually coming from the influence of Kadamba, mainly from Atisha. So while we engage with the four common practices, we normally not only particularly focus on the precious human life, impermanence, karma, and the force of samsara, but during those for mind training, we actually engage with, in general, many different types of mind training as well. So in that way, the mind training is very important. Because the mind training help us to have a correct path to engage with the Munro and as well as Mahamudra. So this is a very important part. So according to our traditional way of engaging with the Munro, normally we do 4 sessions of if a person have time, they engage with the 4 sessions per day. And as a beginner, with the supplication, and after the supplication, a person needs to chant the 2 phrases of precious human life again and again during this whole session. Not only meditating, but more contemplating on how precious human body is, how difficult to obtain the human body, with comparing with like surrounding existence. In a way, a person can really able to have a time to look ourselves, because normally we are always distracted with our daily job and financial, materialistic way, where we have not enough time to really know about or connect to ourselves, so that when we have some difficulties, we try to seek help from outside, because we don't know much about ourselves. The solution is always there within ourselves, but because of not having enough time to know ourselves, so we are always distracted with the surroundings, and in a way that when we face some difficulties, then we always have a problem to have solution from ourselves. We always try to seek from other side. So in that, the reason mainly is that we don't have enough time to understand ourselves and true facts, what is happening in life. So precious human birth, as long as impermanence, those are something that always happen. Change happens constantly without we exist or not. In a way, when a strong change comes, we have very difficulty to accept the change because we are very much not being aware, like accepting the change. And same with the karma and force of samsara. So in that way, during the session, we repeat, for example, a person who's very beginning, they have to do precious human life practice for 1 week. During the session, they have to chant the phrase which is in the Wonder Book. Again, to remind, chanting because we are reminding. At the same time, there's like put a space to contemplate how precious human life is. And when we complete the whole session, we have the completion of one perfect session where we focused on ourselves, mainly on our life. So the session is mainly dedicated to ourselves, not others, not in the worldly stuff. We focus. So all the retreats are mainly like discovering, engaging with self. And that is something that one should be aware of. And so, during when the first retreat, I mean, there's a 1 week practice of human precious life is done, then we add the second mind training of impermanence, death, for 1 week. And after that, cause and effect, the karma. So on the fourth week, we start with the force of samsara, also known as the defect of samsara. So the teachings which I'm giving you now, and what we are following the commentary, is basically to support your session for the whole week of the force of samsara mind training. So the way it is written down, those are the notes where you have to reflect during the session. So last Here we started from precious human life, impermanence, and cause and effect. And so this year, we will try to complete the force of samsara. With that, we will complete the 4 mind training. Then the refuge, uncommon refuge. So I will be, the Monjo will be continue every year. So this year will be refuge, I suppose. Next year, maybe bodhicitta, if we can finish bodhicitta this year. Then next year, Vajrasattva. Then after that, mandala. Then after that, Guru Yoga. So yes. So now we will start with the 4th mind training. On the root facts, you can find this on the page 41, follows by the defect of samsara. 4th, the place, friends, pleasures, and riches of samsara are always stricken with the 3 sufferings, like the last feast before the execution. Cutting the ties of attachment, I will strive to reach enlightenment. So this is the root text coming from the Kongtrul, which one should repeat time to time not to get distracted during the session. Yes, so here we'll be continue on the commentary. So the 4 common mind training. If we come to conclusion, summarize the 4 mind training, what does it mean? What is the meaning of why is we have to train our mind for 4 common mind training? Because, well, the state of the mind, the ultimate nature is known as the Mahamudra. Mahamudra, the true nature of mind, has no limits and is beyond limits. It's beyond normal kind of how to say existence of our how to say dualistic mind. So Mahamudra is the enlightened mind, which can be beneficial in all for all and everything. And so to understand Mahamudra or to achieve, you have to let go something. For example, if you want to explore the life the life which is outside the house, you have to let go you have to, come out of your house. So when you can able to let it go, then you can travel everywhere. Holding to a house and traveling wants to travel outside is not possible. In the same way, Mahamudra is something that beyond our human life, just human life, it's beyond impermanence. It's beyond many kind of culture, uh, political, whatever. Mahmud is beyond ordinary concept reach. So in that way, you have to let it go. All the things which holds you not to understand the absolute, the beyond nature uh, of samsara. So for that, you have to let it go. So it is very difficult to let go if you have attachment to it. So in that way, the four mind training is basically reminding ourselves that life is not perfect. The creation of the mind is not perfect. So everything changes. Everything changes, and in a way, it's not stable. So we have to renounce our, how to say, materialistic life. We have to renounce fame. We should not follow for the fame. We should not, how to say, go after. We should not dedicate our whole life for wealth or fame, which is temporary. So this is more like logical way for a person to accept everything is change, everything is impermanent, so that with that understanding, they will able to, how to say, move forward, continue, no further. So in that way, to summarize all things, now it's about the force of samsara. One need to see there is no perfect in any realms, and on like everything is temporary. So that is kind of main point where we have to train ourselves. So now we continue. First, it described the realms of hell, mainly explaining the hell realm, the suffering, so that people doesn't want to take birth in hell realms. So for those born in the hot hell, all the mountains and valleys are burning iron blazing with furious flames. The rivers and lakes are molten copper and bronze. From the trees falls a rain of swords and other weapons. Multitudes of uh, carnivorous beasts and furious demons kill the hell beings, who do not have the power to rest for even a moment. So till here, uh, this is the explanation of the uh, one of the part of hell. Well, uh, hell, I would say people are very much familiar hell because hell is not only comes from Buddhist spiritual, but hell can be also can be heard from Christianity, Muslim, and many different religions. So hell is not something that only comes from the Buddhist spiritual lineage. uh, so actually, what is the actual meaning of hell? Uh, in general, when we hear the name hell, uh, is actually a part where it focuses on pain and the result of anger. Uh, let's see, just look within ourselves and try to experience ourselves. When you get attached, what makes you uncomfortable with the attachment? Focus on that. When you're happy, what does it focus on? What kind of emotion or side of your mentality focus on? When you get jealousy, what kind of uh, like stage you focus? And also like jealousy, hatred, um, and so on. Or like put it in a positive, like love, proudness, or any kind of thing. Just like that, uh, uh, how now we are focusing part of our mentality where we only focus on the suffering, right? So normally, when we get excitement, something that gives you some kind of pleasure, and that short excitement can exaggerate to a very big kind of wantingness and being very much, it can fool your mental mind with that emotion. With the anger, with the seed of anger, and if you just put it like more wood to the anger as a fire, it will burn more and more. It will grow. And it will cause uncomfortness, leads you being uncomfortable, mainly makes you suffer. So there's so many kind of suffering, not only from physical, but mental suffering. So we try to combine all the suffering that will be very scary. So the hell is the manifestation of your own uh, anger result, the uncomfort. And with that, what you gonna gain? Fear and uh, unstableness of peace for sure. There won't be peace. There won't be any pleasure. mostly it will be uh, uh, involved with the anger and pain. So in here we have it is mentioned the 8 uh, in hell. Just the hell is the manifestation of the anger and the pain or the suffering. So this is like a general thing. When we go to actual like a realm kind of idea, in Buddhist we describe 18 different suffering of hells. We have 8 uh, hot realms. I mean, hot suffering and 8 cold sufferings, and on top, uh, uh, we have this in the occasional and neighboring hells. So this 2, which will be in different places. So totally will be 18 different hell kind of places. So there is this is the well-known number, but of course there is numerous different type of suffering. So hell is known to be not such as materialistic kind of realm. It's more of miracle birth. For example, when we dream in a certain, when we dream where we go to a certain places, in order to reach that place, you don't have to take birth to a mom's womb for like 9 months. And for that to dream, you don't need an actual car or like a plane, whatever. It's more like a manifestation of your mind. And in the dream, you do meet people and you do receive pleasure. You do receive good news and bad news, although it is just illusionary of part of your mind, but you do perceive actual emotions. You do receive such kind of feelings. It's not like just the feelings are quite the same as the realistic feeling because this is part of your mind. So what you perceive through your own belief. So in that way, you perceive everything as real. Although it is true or fake, doesn't matter when you start to believe. So in that way, the first of the 8, because since we are going through the suffering of hell, I think it would be understand more if you go through one by one. One of the 8 hard realms of the hell would be Yangsu, reviving hells. Can you show the image? So this is just a painting, but This represents one of our individual of mind, where, let's say, when we pass away, where we already move forward from this life, where we already live our own life. So when you enter to a next life, let's say in the next stage, after the former life, you are not remembered as who you were, but you are a new person already. And as the hell doesn't have to be such existent materialistic realm, as it is known as the miracle birth realm, where everything is like a dream. So one kind of a dream is known as this Yangsu. So it's like you come to a place, like in a land, and you started to be lost in the valley or wherever you are. But you are filled with fear and lonely. And you try to seek solution or home, but you don't have any more home. And you try to seek help, but there is no one actual can able to help you. You start to see people, but it makes you more fear that they try to harm you instead of saving you, taking advantage. So in a way, you try to grab anything from the land in a forest, like a tree, like a knife, any kind of weapon to protect yourself. And you see people that look scary and you try to avoid and run away. But you cannot find any places where you can settle your mind, be more relaxed. Then you started to see people being same as you, being a fear, and try to harm you for the in order to protect themselves. They are the same way protecting themselves, but still they are very stranger to you. And you travel everywhere, carrying knife with the fear in your heart, unstoppable. And when you see people, you try to, how to say, harm them. And they try to harm you as revenge. And you get pain, full of fear constantly. But you start to die in the land. But again, you're not actual physically dead, but it's the manifestation of the death. But you will again, with the karma of the stream of your past, whatever, you will again be alive and continuously, how to say, be like person like before, and you start to go with the fear and try to seek the salvation. So this is mainly known as Yang Shu, means you will again become in life, so that you have to go to the fear. So this is one of the health realms. So basically, the forest is more like in the hot area. because it is part of the eight halt hell. Then the second is Tingna. Can you move? The next photo.
Could you give the name in English and Rinpoche, please?
The Tingna, black line hell.
Yes.
So this is the known as the second realm. Because of your previous kind of habit of killing other, it is said black line because it's similar as to a wood craftsman who, in order to cut the wood, they have to measure with a pencil and something like that. You have to cut. You have to make the line in order to cut. So similar like that, in the result of having so much killing other beings, as the same action you have done to other. So you will start to have that manifestation, that kind of habit towards oneself, because this is something that you are very much familiar of doing to others. So that is known as the black line hell. So where so the same way the person who does killing to other, of course, in the slaughterhouse, some people do measure their body and cut it. The same way how you, same way the person who kills, in a way, they have that kind of establishment of how to kill, and they have this kind of mentality. So the same result will come to oneself, and there is a chance when the causing condition comes, so that the same suffering happens to oneself. So the third is crushing hell, Dujum. So the Dujum is mainly crushing, where it is the same as black line. In a way, when we try to some kind of animal, we try to, how to say, do the same, crushing their body in order to eat them. For example, like a crab or like oyster, those are the living beings. So when we have this crushing their body, their physical form, of course there are some numerous suffering for the being who's getting crushed. So in the same way, that is one of the painting to relate more with us. So this is something like being crushed by two mountains. So this is one of the realms, and one is the screaming hell. So this has some, as I mentioned before, when the karmic comes and they again come to our places where they are not aware of. We started to come to a place where we are not aware, and we started to seek shelter. So we kind of roam around in the forest, which is very scary at the evening. So we see a house to take a shelter. Then when the moment when we enter, the door started to disappear, lock it up. And there is no window, and there is no escape. And there will be full of fear, where you started to become very lonely and started to scream aloud as possible to seek a help. But there's no place to take a shelter. And again and again and again, it is more like a very lonely mental state where you are hopeless physically and mentally. So this is one of the rooms. And we have the other one, the Great Screaming Hell. Same way, but with the karmic, when you can able to escape in a way by like miracle, but somehow you're still stuck in a house. Like you were in a house where there's another house inside. So when you come out from the house of darkness, then there is a house where you might see a window, any place to escape, but it is fully locked, and you started to see many fires burning around the house. And the same as, so this is quite similar. And so we have the 6 hot hells. So this is very much same, but in a very different, where which is written down in here: burning iron blazing with the furious flames. Like the person, the hell people will let you drink the burning iron nectar, so that when you try to, when the iron nectar goes, the flaming iron goes inside your body, and all the stomach and everything burns. But there is so many great pain one will suffer. So like this and so forth, as there is a picture. And we have the 7 very hot hell. It is the same way, but more pain and more hell people trying to, how to say, hurt you. So the 8, unremitting hell. So for this, it is written down in the commentary. Such is the suffering in the lowest of the 8 hot hells, the insensate that even the Buddha did not dare to speak of it. Were he to tell of it, there will be a danger that the compassionate Bodhisattva might vomit blood and die, he said. So this mainly refers to this one of the it is known as to be the most suffering of all hell realms. So there are specifically many different kind of suffering, but this realm or the stage of the suffering is known to be the most unimaginable suffering, because normally during the hell suffering, we go through some space where we can able to rest, come to a place there's a pause of quietness or pain where you're gonna reborn again. But in this hell, one of the pain is unremitting because it's non-stop. And the fire, let's see, in here we have the fire and the person. And the way how it's described is the body is no different from the fire. The fire is no different from the body, where the body will continuously, non-stop burning, and we will suffer. So this is known to be the worst suffering of the hell realms. So what is this? So till here, we complete the 8 hell realms. So what is the point of knowing this? So during the session, we comparing hell realms, that there's so much suffering. And we are so fortunate that we are not going to this kind of physically, mentally pain. And in that way, being more appreciated that what we have is very fortunate, the time, the precious time, without suffering. Some sentient beings go through suffering a lot. Looking at them, we are very fortunate that we have such a time, so that the time should not be wasted on something which is meaningless. So in that way, through understanding the suffering, when we are able to manage to make a meaningful thing, that is fruitful. So in that way, the purpose of understanding suffering is that. Secondly, that through that, we will try to not to engage anything related with the hell realms. So here, this is hell realms. So we will go to the continue. For those born in the cold hells, all the mountains and the valley are snow and ice. Bitterly cold winds and storms freeze their body, cracking them into pieces until their lifespan of quintillions of years is completed. Hell beings die again and again, only to be reborn an instant later in the same place to endure the same agony once again. So, in here, this done. Now focusing on the whole hell. So one thing during the session of the force of samsara, we have to examine ourselves. If we are in hell realms, how would we gonna be? Examine ourselves in that situation, and after that, be grateful that we are not in this suffering. So in that way, it helps ones to have more compassionate to the ones who are suffering. This is something a way we can able to feel more pity, compassion, and through that, the seed of helping other can generate when we're able to connect with the suffering. So this practice are very beneficial in a way. So people can able to engage in their own way, but normally, this is how you engage with the session and thinking more about the suffering. And the more you think about suffering, the more the idea of liberating from the suffering will appear. So in that way, if one person doesn't discover suffering, they will not try to avoid the suffering. So for that, first you need to know the suffering, then try to avoid the suffering. So those are important. So when we go to the Pacific 4, which the cold hell realms are quite similar. So the first is blister, bursting, chattering teeth, alas, and burr, splitting like an utpala, and splitting like a lotus, splitting like a great lotus. So those are actually the same, where mainly the same way you come to a place where you become hopeless, no guidance, no protector, anyone. So one doesn't have a clothes to wear. Everything is not available. Even though the wealth, the fame won't be helped when we come to a certain to a place where there's no value on those stuff. So what is the value to survive from that? To escape from that? That will be the most valuable thing. So in here we have blistering. So the name is named after on how the suffering is through the coldness. One skin start to have many blister. So in that way, it is named after that. So same blister bursting, and so in a different kind of suffering of the pain of they started to shattering teeth, like and they started to make the noise from the teeth, like shivering of the cold, and alas started to shout to the pain of cold, and burr as making a sound. And spreading like a utpala. Utpala is kind of a lotus where you freeze non-stop, where the physical flesh of your body started to split like a flower. And we have the 7 splitting like a lotus, which the lotus are more, the lotus has more petals. So like there will be more shattering, more splitting of your form. And the last is splitting like a great lotus, which means numerous suffer. So this is till here, it becomes 16. Hot 8, cold 8, so it becomes 16. Then we have 2, 年见年过, so which is known to be surrounded towards the hell realms. So the first would be Memurjop, pit of burning embers. So it is said that the hell, when you escape from the hell, the heat and the cold place, there is a place known as Mingburjo, pit of burning embers, where there is like a lake which is extremely hot. When you're about, in order to cross the lake, you have to go through the lake. So your foot needs to be enter inside the lake. So the lake is extremely hot that the moment you put your feet inside, it will start to boil. And the hell is so surprisingly not like our human realms, but it's more like a miracle manifestation of your mind, where when you started to pull out your feet, it can recover, but the pain will be there. And again, to cross, you have to step many foot inside the lake. So in a way, that is the pain and the suffering. And the second is swarm of crops. So after escaping that, there is a similar lake, but instead of water here, it is mainly the urine and the other. And not only that, in that very disgusting kind of muddy lake, inside there are so many insects which has iron teeth, where they start to bite your flesh. That when there's like a mosquito try to take blood from your body, similar like that, that is one of the suffering. And there are numerous crops because there are so many beings that want to cross, but they, how to say, not able to manage. So there are so many crops lying in that kind of lake, swamp. And the third, razor plain, Pudita. The land, there will be a land, but it is filled with the weapon and the razor, where it is unbearable pain to cross any steps. So the fourth sort of ticket, Raldisa. So, and after crossing that, there will be a forest, a tree has a leaf of a blade, a weapon. When the wind started to blow or touch the tree, the leaves will gonna fall down. In the same way, the blade will gonna fall rain. So which we have gone through up on the commentary, it's the same thing. So when the leaves started to fall down, and there is so many wounds will appear in the physical body, so there will be a lot of suffering. And there's so we have Shamalai tree. So this is known to be a tree which is made out of iron. And it is said that when you look or enter to the place, you will see a woman. For a female, a male. For a male, a female. Very beautiful. Will comfort you to come to the forest. The moment you start to run after that person, they will disappear in the forest. When then the trees becomes more the trees which is made out of blade, razor, whatever, will be more sharp in a way. Every step of the grass is made out of blade. So like this. So those are the 18 different pain of the hell realms. So in that way, so what we have to understand that even though this is not a realistic kind of realm, but since the mind has no limit of anger, suffering, and so forth, there will be exactly as many different types of hell as well. So when you look at the aspiration of the Bodhisattva Jaya Avatara from the Shantideva, there's so many beautiful aspirations dedicated to those beings who are suffering from such pain. And it is said that when such great bodhisattva as Vajrapani or Jayazik or Manjushri started to appear in the hell realms, there will be many kind of blessed and many kind of peaceful arise in the heart of those beings. So it is similar, like when you have a very strong bad dreams. During the time of the dream, you will start to see someone who's more compassionate. So in a way, you will have a glimpse of peace by seeing such person. So similar like that, a bodhisattva is very much like a guardian or protector for those beings. So this is the way one should meditate oneself during the session by mainly contemplating. that how precious we are, and understanding more on the suffering and try to generate more compassion. So that we have very popular of saying that may all mothers sentient beings, because we cannot able to imagine our loving parents to suffer in that way. So in a way, in Buddhist, we believe we have taken so many lives. So in a way, it is countless lifetimes. So the all sentient beings has been our mother in our past life. So in a way, we should be more compassionate for all sentient beings and try to generate bodhicitta for the sake of all sentient beings. So yes, so then we continue. Those born as hungry ghosts never find any food or drink at all. The hunger and thirst are so intense that even if they look for pause or mucus, they are worn out of the exhaustion, unable to find any. They have no clothes, so they burn in the summer and freeze in the winter. When it rains, they perceive falling sparks burning them. They see water as pus and blood. Flames leap from their dislocated joints. They perceive each other as enemies and constantly beat each other up. They live 15,000 human years. So here, we mainly here we talk about here we continue with the hungry ghosts. We call it Nitapanuyira. And this time to time also can be known as the birth, a miracle birth. And sometimes this can be more like attachment birth. In sutras, where we do believe like a spirit, after passing, they roam around. Sometimes too much attachment to their own something which which belongs to them. So after passing away, they couldn't able to leave and move forward, and they keep on attached to the place, and their consciousness always roam around the place, but they feel lonely because they don't have a person to be recognized because they are already passed. They don't receive welcomes because they don't have physical body which is visible. So they don't have physical form in a way. They don't have, they don't receive food or drinks. But because of their previous habit of having a meal, having of the habit of getting hunger, so that kind of manifestation continues in their journey, so that even though they are passed away, they have the continuation of the suffering of being hunger and thirst. So here, so those are something that we can relate with the human realm. Some like places have spirits going here around, so they are also known as hungry ghosts. And so this the picture is kind of also represents the realms of hungry ghosts. So in hungry ghosts, there are many different types of kind of uh, suffering stages and places as well. So mostly this comes from uh, attachment, which call it sena, which you cannot able to give up or uh, move forward, which is opposite of the generosity. Mm. Mm. So that so so in there in that kind of realm, one could say mm, they so in the picture they have only flesh and bone with a huge uh, stomach in a very tiny throat, and it described they have a very small mouth, so that the food is very hard to enter, and so it is so small than the pin of the needle. When you have the needle of making the clothes, I see. What do you call cup
We call it a needle. It's a needle.
needle? Yeah. So to put the string, there's a hole. So they say it is more smaller than the size of the hole of the needle. So imagine when we are able to breathe, uh, we have no problems right now because we have we can able to breathe without any difficulties. If someone gives you a small straw or pipe and asks you to breathe through this rest of your life, that will be such uncomfortable because you have to like breathe. So breathing to this is so uncomfortable. Same way, the hungry ghost has difficulties uh, through eating, of course, also the breathing, because so the nerve of their body is very kind of thin. And so that, you know, so with their karmic, they born to a such place where they were not able to swallow or drink any kind of a nectar, but they don't die until the cause and condition stops to the mind stream. So they are completely clothless. So in a way, the skin and the bone is only left. So sometimes, even though there's such as a female hungry ghost, they give a birth to the younger one, but they don't able to die easily unless the karma stops. So during the pregnancy, it will be very difficult for the mother, and of course for the father as well. There's also such as family hungry ghosts, and And yes, and during the cold, the hungry ghosts start to feel tremendous uh, uh, cold in their body. During the summer, they feel so heated. Uh, their skin is very sensitive. And because of their karmic of physical body, how it is built, they were not able to see things as we do. They were able to see the water as pores and mucus and blood, and so like that. So everything is not pleasable. For example, as we as a being a human, water is the water for us. For sea creature, water is totally different from them. It is like a house for them, a air for them. The air is totally different for the sea creature. So similar in that way, for hungry ghosts, the water is very different from our human uh, uh, faculties. So they don't have the physical strength in their body. So only the joint and the bone and the flesh is left. So for them to walk around is tremendous suffering. Uh, and when they see each other, let's say different types of hungry ghosts, they feel uncomfortness by seeing them, that they might try to steal something from you. They might try to take something from you. And for that, you will try to always go through the hatred to one another. Um, so, so they say the life 15,000 human years. So there's a calculation of the how long it is. For example, like let's say animal, most familiar for us would be like cat and dogs, which are very much close to human. So their lifespan is around 13 years, maximum 16. And for human lifespan, it will be around uh, 60, 70, 80. If one could get more lucky with having all the accessories, the equipment to live much longer, let's say 100. If we compare our human life, let's say like an animal, let's say a lifespan of 12, like a dog. So their 1 year, our human life would be 12, and like counting like that. And for example, some insect can able to live for a day, some month. Their whole lifespan is like human, or 1 day or like month or week. So it's like a calculation. So everything doesn't work according to human thing. It's always need to be uh, dependent on one to another. So like this, hungry ghosts, they live quite long. And some like animal for a day is like many 100. A bird 1 day is like more than a day, like 20 days, 1 month, according to their the body, according to their physical how it functions. So it depends. So some time to time we say our human like thousands of years will be one day of the God realms. To God, we have like a very short kind of a lifespan. So it's more like comparable. So from that, what you can understand is that every year, month, second is a creation of our own mind. So the month, year is human creation. And it doesn't applies to all sentient beings. So everything is dependent on cause and condition. So in reality, nothing is stable, nothing is like truly lasting existence, which never changes, although it is concept or whatever. So, it's been how many hours?
Almost 2 hours, 1 hour 40.
Okay, so okay, we will continue with the animal. For the animal, those living in the oceans are numerous as grains in the tracks from burrowing bear. They eat one another alive and are constantly dominated by fear. Wandering wherever the waves carry them, those who live desperate on dry land always fear the approach of an enemy and have no peace of mind. Each kills the other. Those domesticated by humans are hitched to plows, killed for their meat and hides, and so on. In addition to their stupidity and delusion, their suffering of hot and cold is similar to that of the helpings and hungry ghosts. So we have here now is the animal realms, which is very much we can able to relate to, and of course the numbers of animal are more than the human numbers. It is said that a handful of ocean water has numerous or like countless of insects in the hand, like one handful of ocean water. So this is one small size which has so many living beings as animal. Of course, there are so many in the oceans which are outnumbered, and animals who are living on top of the earth, under the earth, inside the water, sea, oceans, and they are always living in a fear. So in a way, the realm of animal is considered no freedom. So by contemplating on their lives and seeing they are lacking of having such precious time of freedom. So of course the wild animal has to live in a fear every second. And as animal, uh, they have to go through being mother, even though as being an animal. So they have to protect their children. So when their children is eaten by a different animal, there were numerous pain in the heart of mother. And not only she has to carry the fear of other, but also she has to carry her own fear to survive. So in a way that in animal realms, it's very difficult to find a freedom, even though the animals who are owned by humans, in a way, they might have less suffering of hunger since they have owner, but in a way, they are always under someone, and they have to act accordingly to the owner, so that they have to survive. So in that way, all the animal realms is known to be one of the being, although they have much less suffering than the hell realms or the god realms, but they have their own pain and suffering in their own ways. So here we will stop here, and we shall continue tomorrow.
Gong